I can't really think of how to open this. Maybe we should sing the national anthem. I don't know. Is that something you guys do at PTK conferences?
What have we done?
No.
We do like our little chanting, but that's
We're not putting
We're
it-
not-
Do
we're
you guys want to do
That
that?
sounds
The
kinda
chanting
cultish.
chant.
It is
Chant,
basically
chant.
very
it's
cultish.
very yeah.
It's
Okay.
to win a chanting bear and bring it back to the campus, and then you're supposed to take pictures for the entire semester of chanting and all the activities around your campus, and then you do this chanting chant to win the bear back to take back to your campus, so it's a big deal.
It's only not embarrassing though when we all look stupid together.
Gotcha, right.
It's kind of if we do it right now, it's a little
Yeah.
weird because they
This
don't
already
know what
sounds extremely complicated,
Yeah.
which was why I never would have qualified for PTK.
I got dragged into.
And then now you've ascended to the ranks of leadership.
I need to stop climbing them. Really, I need to. But
So we're going to talk about that, but very quickly. So if you're a student listening, you have to have completed 12 hours. And if you have a 3.5 or above, you will automatically get an invitation from the Phi Theta Kappa, like the national organization.
Yes, ptk.org.
And then Alison Sheets joins us. You've been here for the hiring event, but
Yes.
you're also the is it advisor? Is that the
Yep,
word
PTK
for the
advisor.
for
Yep.
PTK? How long you been the advisor now?
Well, I was the advisor for almost 4 years before COVID with Dr. Amy Henson and instructor Lena LeBrier. And then, also 1 year with John Wright and Chris Vanowski. Nobody cares about this. Took a hiatus after 2020 and then took it back on in 2024.
Okay, so pretty familiar with how things operate for the most part.
For the most part.
But anyway, so my point was that you will also follow with MAC students with an email, just confirming that it's a legit kind of thing.
Correct, because students are getting so many spam type emails saying this is an honor society and send me your money and you'll get a stole, and the colors look just like PTK. It's awful. And so then I follow up with a, hi, my name is Allison. I'm the local advisor for our Lambda chapter, and tell them that it's a one-time $100 fee, and then to watch for that ptk.org email.
Yeah, and don't be put off by the initial fee because it's not recurring. It's once and that's it forever. Mm-hmm. And you have opportunities for scholarship, travel, networking. So don't be worried about that initial.
Yeah.
Because it's well worth it in the long run.
Yeah.
But you can always go to Mac's website, go to the club's link, and contact Allison. If you do get a piece of email or physical correspondence and you're not sure if it's legit, you can always follow up with her.
Yes, please. And I always tell people that $100, you pay for that quickly. Hopefully you would, go to one of the conferences with us where everything is paid for, or you'll find that scholarships. So if you talk to any of our visiting universities that are here at our college fair, if you ask them about PTK scholarship, they're $1,000 and up. So you quickly make up for that $100 one-time membership fee.
Cool. And before we get too far, we do have two current members joining us. Do you just want to introduce yourself and what your title is?
Yeah, so I'm Riley Dunn, and I'm Vice President of Communications.
I'm Carly Saunders. I'm the president of our local chapter, and I'm regional vice president of service for the Heartland region, which includes 3 states, Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska.
So how many active members are showing, because you have meetings every first Wednesday in the afternoon, and I do want to mention, if you're out there listening, you don't necessarily have to be here in person. If you're an online student or someone who simply can't make it in the afternoons, there is a virtual, you can join via Zoom, so you can still participate and be part of the group, however that works for you. So typically, how many students are kind of active as far as participating in the group?
Less than 10? Would you say about less than 10?
Yeah, I would say 10-ish,
Okay.
approximately.
Approximately.
We have typically about 10% of our student body become PTK members. So right now that looks like about 240. But I would say active, I would say 10 to 12. And we really hope to double that, if not triple that, in the fall. And our officers have some great ideas for the fall, how we're going to do that.
So before we talk about what's coming up, let's go rewind just about a month ago. So at the end of February was the Heartland Conference. I know you do multiple conferences each year. So is that the most recent one you've been to?
So that was
No.
PTK Catalyst. That's the big one.
So the one at the end of February was Catalyst.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what makes it the big one, so to speak.
It's the whole entire nation of PTK. So a lot of members show up to a designated area, and you can meet people from any state, any country, and it's just really neat to meet and see how big PTK actually is. So, and then that means everything's bigger because there's more people. So, like, the conference is bigger, like the shows, the speakers, everything's the biggest it possibly can be because of everyone showing up there.
And was this the one that was in Omaha?
No, this is the one that was in Kansas City.
Okay, Kansas City. Okay. Nice for us.
Yes, very
Yes.
nice.
To be able to, now is it in the same place every year, or does it move around?
No. I know advisors have taken students to Orlando, Nashville, Kansas City. We're going to Baltimore, Maryland next April. So that's going to be exciting. For the longest time, they were going to all the Gaylords. You know, Gaylord probably had
Gotcha,
that
yeah,
contract,
sure.
but now finally, I think that we can go to another convention center. But yeah, it was humongous. I mean, we took over the entire downtown Kansas City Convention Center. You know, I know PTK students were probably in like 6 or 7 hotels. I mean, it is just a grand scale. I know you guys loved. Who was your favorite guest speaker? I mean, they get incredible guest speakers for this thing.
Who was yours, Riley?
I gotta go with Steve Burns.
Yeah. Does Brendan even know who he is?
I do not.
See, he's old
Okay.
like me, so you have to explain who Steve Burns is.
He's Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not watched it, but I know that
Yeah.
it exists.
You've got to. He
I
talked
know
about
that
how
it's
he started
popular.
this just on his Macintosh computer. It was just him and another guy, and it just blew up.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't really follow because I'm still waiting for my invitation to be a guest speaker. And so until that day comes,
Induction, fall.
I'm kidding.
We'll get you signed up right now.
You don't want me. You
Yes,
don't
we
want me in
do.
front of people. Yeah, I'm not in a bad way, but I'm inappropriate in a silly way. Like,
We get silly. PTK gets very silly.
We
Yeah.
get very silly.
Right,
Especially
right.
during our dances.
Yes, yeah, talk about that
wait, now
awesome
we've
dance.
got chants and dance.
Yes,
Oh,
sirree.
yeah. They sometimes call it a gala, but it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
pommy,
I thought
kind
you
of
meant
not.
like a choreographed routine.
No,
You're
no,
talking
no.
about an
Like
event dance.
yeah.
Like, okay, that gives me a little bit of relief. I was getting really worried. We're getting down a strange road here with the chanting and okay, just an event dance. Well, that sounds perfectly lovely. Okay, so the Heartland Conference, when does that occur?
So we have one in the fall,
Oh.
and this past fall, 24, was in October, and that was in Kansas City. As you can imagine, you know, Kansas City is
Well, sure.
it's kind of the center of Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. So that was a good time. That's kind of when you guys had all met each other. We had just had the club day, and I said, come on, you know, come to conference and see what it's all about. And we had a good group, and we had a good time. And then I think those spring conference, which was at the end of February, March in Omaha, that was really a good time. And that was at the Metropolitan Community College in Omaha. And they were great hosts, awesome, you know, campus. And I was impressed with the speakers there. And that's when you guys really got to know a lot of your PTK members from the heartland, you know, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri.
Is that where you, I'm assuming it was sort of a vote thing where you elected
Yes.
VP of Service?
So the original vice president of service had to drop out for various reasons, and they had opened the floor and said whoever would like to run, we are giving you this possibility. And I was A little hesitant at first, and I originally didn't go for it because I thought it was quite a big task to take on, and because I'm a nursing student, I didn't think I actually could deal with all that responsibility. But I chose to take the chance, and I ran against one other PTK member, and we had to campaign for ourselves. Riley was my wonderful campaign manager. And so then it was taken to a vote, and I ended up being the vice president of service for our region.
Okay, I liked how you said various reasons. It sounds like there's some sort of, poisons, like, oh, they can't, you have to vacate your position. But, so you were hesitant to take it on, but since you've been doing that, how has it gone for you?
I'm very happy I took the chance. I wish I would have actually ran for it and campaigned bigger for myself so I could have gotten more of an experience out of it. But just the campaigning showed me, I learned so many people's names. I met so many more people in our region, made me have more connections that way. And then now that I am a part of the regional officer team, I'm making more connections through their colleges and making friends through them. And I'm just really proud that I can represent our region.
Very cool. And then, Riley, you said that locally, is our chapter Lambda?
It is.
Yes.
It's a Lambda chapter. Your title again was?
Vice President of Communications.
Communications, that's right. What types of duties does that entail?
So I'm in control of all the social media for our chapters.
Okay.
Instagrams, Facebooks, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I make the post, take pictures, just that sort of thing.
Okay. Very cool. Gives you a job to do while
Yeah.
you guys are traveling, and somewhat related. If I go to a Max sporting event, if I have if I'm taking photos, I'm much calmer.
Yeah.
If I'm just a fan, I'm ridiculous. So if I have a task, I'm very neutral and sort of, I'll use the word cold, I don't get too much into the game. So I find that if I'm involved in stuff, if I have a job, it kind of keeps me from getting a little kooky out there.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was something unique about the Lambda chapter. We were the oldest one in Missouri or something to that effect.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but is that what it was?
Pretty darn close. So Carly and another one of our members, Alyssa Sample, were just recognized last week at Stevens College in Missouri. They're in Columbia, Missouri, and that's where it all started. There was a female there at Stevens that started in 1918. And then they started popping up all around Missouri. We were actually formed in 1926, and that was 4 years after, Flat River Junior College was established. So we are the second oldest active chapter of PTK in Missouri. And we're very proud of that. When we go to Catalyst, when we go to our Heartland region conferences, people just see one, Lambda letter, and they're like, whoa, because most people have three.
Sure.
So we go in there with all kinds of street cred, because, and then especially we shared in spring that we're celebrating our 100th anniversary, and people just went crazy about that, So yeah, we're pretty proud of that. And we're going to have a big celebration. We just don't know what yet in 26. So.
It's like when you somebody at a company or school has an email and it's like Mike at Mineral. It's like, wow,
he's been around.
If it's just your name, you're ingrained.
Yes.
Speaking of second, we
Yes.
got the second most improved chapter award.
How about that? How about that? I was so proud of this chapter. Back in 23, we had dipped down to 2 out of 5 stars. I don't really should be giving numbers, but last year we got it back up to 4 out of 5, and then this year we got it up to 5 out of 5. And so very proud of that, because there is a long history of us being a 5 out of 5 star chapter, and so proud to get that back. And I've got to brag about our president, Carly. That was Carly. She went to the fall conference and she said, by God, we're getting 5 out of 5 stars, and that meant taking on a big research project, Honors in Action, and that meant, making sure our campus project was done. That meant write-up, right when we come back for spring, because that's always due at the end of January. There's quite a bit to it to be a 5-star chapter. And anyway, I'm just really proud of this chapter, and especially Carly and her leadership, that we are back to 5 out of 5, and that's why we got most improved.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So we were mentioning like a research project. Is that like an ongoing kind of thing, or was it sort of compartmentalized, like you did it, you turned it in, or how did that work?
So we come up with an idea, and I had proposed, actually in the minivan on the way back from one of our conferences,
Because we had drank the Kool-Aid, we were ready.
that our campus has an issue with caffeine. Everywhere you look, you see caffeine energy drinks on people's desks. And I mean, a lot of people drink 3 a day, and they don't even think twice about it. And I was proposing this idea, and I was like, most people don't know that there's a daily allowance on this. And with me being in the nursing field, I know a lot of effects that caffeine does on the body. And I was like, well, maybe they should know what the effects are in long term, short term, and how much they're actually supposed to have a day to keep them healthy. And I felt that this was a really great research project because it affected so many MAC campus students.
Sure. This is going to seem like a strange tangent, but it reminded me of like we'll watch television shows, maybe like they're a little bit older, and they're like smoking like in the hospital and stuff. And you just imagine how far things have come.
Doctors used to smoke
But
in their
yeah.
doctor's office. In magazines you would open up and there would be a glamorous lady smoking a cool KOOL cigarette. Yeah, I mean, it was just everywhere, and alcohol too. And so, maybe, Carly, someday we will see, the effects of the monsters and everything will go away and there won't be all these cool advertisements, So, did you see the posters that our chapter then put up? They were awareness posters. They're by all the vending machines. They're kind of a hot pink 8x10 flyer
Hot
size.
pink and white.
And then you also put those up there in the food pantry, because surprisingly you found that, our own food pantry has got quite a few high caffeinated
I believe there was one that had
drinks.
350. The daily allowance is you're not supposed to go over 400 milligrams, and there was one that was 350, and I was like, well, you got 10 more to go, and you're at your limit for today, and that's just one drink, and caffeine's in everything, so.
And you all put those up right around finals too, which I thought was
Yes.
so important. That's when we're all drinking the caffeine.
Everyone's trying to push through, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty brave, given that probably 90% of campus runs on. I'm
Right.
not a coffee person myself.
Right.
But
I thought it was just a great project for the awareness, and just letting students know really what is their recommended daily allowance, and it's sure not 3 monsters a day,
No.
is it?
It's not.
yeah, I don't think I have, but I'm the worst person to ask, because where my office is, I don't tend to roam around campus as much as I did like when I was in the classroom. So I'm pretty oblivious to what's going on, which just sounds terrible since I'm in the communications department. I've actually I need to make it a point to get out more, but I tend to get to working on. I'll get to working on something, and then I'm like, oh, it's time to go home today. Like,
Right.
I'm just super focused.
Right.
So that could be another health project. Like, get up out of your chair, take a walk, get out in the sunshine. Yeah, that's the poster I need, like on the back of my door.
Maybe self-care will be next year's Honors in Action project.
There you go. There
Could
you
be.
go.
Yeah, you can bring me on as a guest speaker and be like, here's the effects if you aren't healthy. You'll end up like this guy.
Right. No, stop it.
So, I want to mention again that the meetings are the first Wednesday of every month.
2:00 in the afternoon. We found that was the best time for our active members, but I do like to poll the active members in the fall and say, hey, if this 2:00 hour is not working for you, maybe it's 11 o'clock, maybe it's 4, whatever, then we can change that a little bit. And then again, I'm so glad that you mentioned the Google Meets link is always sent out day before. And so people can join us from those outreach campuses. We've had Alyssa who's driving, it seems like, to National Guard, and she'll be on, the phone with us. Anyway. So yeah, you can kind of tune in from anywhere.
I want to get back to the VP of Service. Are you now? That's the Heartland, so that's just the tri-state. And you said that was Nebraska, Kansas,
In Missouri.
Does that mean that? So you'll have a project here. So the caffeine example.
Yes.
Does the Heartland mean that you're working on one or more projects across, like with
Yes.
different chapters?
Yes.
What do you have going on with different states?
So our training for regional officers doesn't start till June, so we'll actually have training on what it means to be an officer. I'm still learning what my responsibilities are, but as of right now, I'm very excited. We're going to bring ideas about our service and multiple campus projects in June, and we'll meet together and do a vote and then see how we can actually plan those out. But as of right now, we do not have a specific idea. We're open to ideas, but we've not come together yet with those intent.
Okay, so this position is still new for you.
Very new.
Haven't really gotten off the ground yet.
And I'll have to say, too, brag on Carly, according to Emily Murdoch, when she was an advisor 13, 14 years ago is when we had our last regional officer. So this is a pretty big deal for Carly and for Mineral Area College.
I don't want to brag, but I have 2 awards over on the shelf.
yeah.
Out of 4, I have 4 total.
Yeah.
2 of those are from PTK.
What did you do to get those?
I don't really remember.
Oh, okay.
I do so many amazing things. It's hard to
Yes.
keep track
Yes.
of the growing list.
Yeah.
So before we got together today, actually, because they're from 2016, so I typed them into Google and to see what they were, and both of them were supposed to be for like administration, and I was like debating on whether I should say that on the podcast because I don't want, there's a knock on the door with some people in robes or something from PT masks, PTK coming in
Right.
here and like we need to take those awards back because
Right.
you weren't technically administration.
You weren't worthy.
But yeah, I have 4 total, and PTK is half of them.
Good deal.
So my wife has 3 awards.
She gets a lot of awards around here.
So here's the thing: her 3 are like really big. Not to diminish the ones that I have, but I have quantity over her.
Sure.
Her quality. So.
Sure.
But yeah, I haven't been to an induction in a long time.
Well, please
I
come.
think there were a couple years where I couldn't make it, and then I just got out of the habit.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
But that was true of a lot of things, where shifting schedules kind of threw me off, and there's a lot of MAC things that I wasn't participating in as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And like you get out of the habit, and then it's hard to jump back into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Alyssa couldn't join us, but I saw that she did some sort of like self-paced online.
Yeah.
For some, I don't know if they were awards or more like just
It was awards. She was recognized. She had received, I think,
It's like
the
competitive edge
competitive
in
edge, and
healthcare?
leadership
Okay.
edge. I think you did the healthcare edge. No, okay. So then, sorry, I wish Alyssa could have joined us today, but so that is a self-paced. I would say more of a kind of a professional development online, and you can choose so many different themes. Like if you want to explore the world of healthcare, if you want to get better and stronger in teamwork or leadership or interviewing or job search, and they're free to all PTK members. And again, it's self-paced, and they're just I think great things to kind of hone in on your skills as you all, graduate to the world of work.
Well, I wanted to bring that up, not just because Alyssa received that recognition, but just because stuff like that exists.
It does. It does.
Again, if you are someone who qualifies, if you get invited, really consider joining, because you can participate in sort of your own way.
Right.
And if that means using or accessing content or services just for your own growth.
Yep.
And then if you're someone who's not necessarily immediately comfortable with coming to meetings or maybe going on a trip, that you can kind of build up to that.
I couldn't have said it better. I mean, it's what you make of it, and you can be as involved as you want. You can take advantage of, all this collaboration and the fun stuff of, going to different community colleges and partying down and dancing and, wearing your formal dress. Or you can pay your $100 and then hopefully when you transfer to that university, then you can take advantage of $1,000 or higher scholarships. PTK gives out roughly $250 million in transfer scholarships for PTK members. Something cool they started 2 years ago is now they have more of a career and tech scholarship. So say you're not going to the university, but you're going into the world of work, or maybe you need some money for next year. You get money for, let's say, boots, supplies, nurses. You can get money for your books, for your uniforms and stuff like that. So great push, just really no matter what your education goal is. But yeah, there's like a Coca-Cola scholarship that's $55,000. I mean, incredible amounts of scholarship. In fact, I think when Murdoch was here, somebody got a full ride to, I want to say it was an East Coast school. Do you recall?
I do not.
Okay.
That sounds familiar, but I can't really place it.
Yeah, we'll have to get her on here. But yeah, PTK really is what you make of it. I'm finding that more and more of our freshmen and sophomores, they miss the opportunities that were in high school. You guys have, please share if you want to just pop in, but like you miss that, student government, you miss those campus projects, you miss making a difference on your campus. And so, you're telling me you're yearning for things like that here at MAC.
I feel that high school honor society is definitely not as big and not as special to me as PTK is.
Yeah.
But I loved being in honor society. I was a student ambassador. I loved being involved in my community, in my school, and then when I came to college, my eyes were just opened. This is a lot bigger than what high school students are used to. You get to meet people. To me, this is a big deal. And you get to make bigger memories, meet more people. You get more out of it. And I feel that when you first come to campus and time is everything, you start dividing out your time and you miss PTK.
Mm-hmm.
You've missed so many opportunities that you could have gotten if you went to PTK first.
Yeah. I mean, you guys probably don't recognize this, but your communication skills, again, that teamwork, collaboration, leadership, all that stuff that employers are looking for, you guys are working on that constantly when you get together, and then when you build a social media post. And I've heard you guys in the back of the van collaborating. What should we post? What should we not? And then just recently you guys talked about, well, what should our next campus project be? Because you have to pitch that to administration, and you guys talked about that as a group, and you decided, hey, let's do something for veterans next November and collect toiletries and non-perishables. And I just love hearing that as an advisor, how you guys really work that out, just like we do at the World of Work. That's what you do when you're serving on a committee. And so I just think it's great. Plus you guys get to have a little fun in wonderful cities like Kansas City and Orlando and Nashville and Baltimore.
I feel a lot of people think it's all business, and it is an honor society, and we do have a lot of respect and business-like things and aspects part of it, but we do have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You get to make friends, you get to make memories. I can't tell you how many times I played Uno with random people and have made friends. Like the dances, like Catalyst was just wild.
Over the top.
Over the top.
Yeah, and I want to say, if anybody's thinking about joining PTK, make sure to go check out our social media at Mineral Area PTK. We post a lot on there of just sort of the things that we're doing, and get a little look at it. We're always checking it every day, so if you have any questions, reach out to us on there too.
Yeah, you've got great pictures on there from the zoo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to the zoo in the fall, that was awesome, and that was all paid for. I don't let you guys pay for anything.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, we've just really had a good time, and you can see that on our socials,
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
Instagram. Yeah.
In general, and not to get too technical here, but the research does also suggest, whether it's PTK or anything, getting involved in an organization or participating on campus, it compounds your success. It correlates with your academic success. and I always found this to be true, that take sports, for example. If I was in a season where I wasn't playing a sport, even though I had extra time, my grades were always worse.
Yep.
When I was in season, my grades were always better.
Same.
And and that doesn't have to be athletics. It could be any kind of group, whether it's PTK or otherwise. So if you're thinking, oh, well, I don't have the time, strange things happen when you get involved. It tends to lift you in other places
I agree.
that you don't necessarily. It seems counterintuitive, but it's true almost across the board.
Yep.
So yeah, getting involved, meeting people, it's a more fulfilling college experience in general. And plus you get to be part of this weird chanting thing that's happening.
Very true.
Yeah, because it's our 100th. I mean, I want to take a lot of people to fall conference. And so we are going back to Kansas, and that's always in October. But I will take, a second van if we have to. And let's just, and I know you guys came back with some great ideas of how we were going to recruit in the fall. So if you guys want to share that, fine. I don't know how much more time we have, but I thought that was a great idea.
Well, I want to put it out there that I do have a Class C license.
Okay.
I can drive the mineral area
There we
vehicles.
go.
Oh my goodness.
I've driven.
Now you have to dance, though.
Yeah,
That's
you have
fine.
to dance.
And
I'm
you
a-
have to wear a tie at the gala.
This may surprise people. I'm a good dancer, and I've got plenty of ties. I like dressing up, and so that's not a problem.
You might
So
have
if
to play Uno too. Uno,
I don't know. That's not
That's-
really my wheelhouse.
it's
But
not
I
mine
can.
either.
I'll do it if necessary. But if you need a driver, I can drive the Mac vehicles. I've done it for some other leadership events. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
We do have a lot of officers coming back for the first time, which will be great. And we need more guys, right?
Yes.
So
There's very few
we're-
guys.
Garrett Short is like the sole guy in our active group. And so we really are going to push Garrett to bring some guy friends, because that always makes a better collaboration.
I want to go back to a bit earlier. You talked about the first conference you went to was pretty soon after Club Day.
Oh, yeah, like the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So our whole lives, you grow up, and people say, "Don't get into strange vans." You show up to Mac, and this lady you've never met's like, "Hey,
Come with
come
me
get in the
next
van.
week
Let's
to Kansas
take
City.
a trip to."
And you
out of
guys
town.
went back home and told your parents, and what did they say?
Well,
They
I'd
were-
like to point out she did lure us with food.
Yeah, she did lure us. Like
Uh-huh.
she bribed us with promises.
I sure did. I was doing every trick in my book that, yeah.
Yeah.
She sold me at that table. She's like, everything's paid for, and I'll feed you. And I was like, when can I go?
Yeah, we'd never seen each other. We didn't
No,
know each
we
other
did not know each
anything
other.
until we pulled up, and then we just
So-
hopped in a van with each
Yeah.
other.
And we just looked at each other and we're like, yep, we're gonna get along just
Yeah.
fine.
Yep. I mean, we had Mariah, she went.
Mariah and Willow.
Mariah Story, you all might know her. Willow Ruggierics, might know her, she went. Alyssa, did Alyssa go on that one? No, she did not, but yeah, it was a great time, so.
Well, if you're somebody out there that qualifies, take advantage. That was never me. I was a B all the way through kind of student. So, but yeah, having the perspective now, years, I won't say how many years later, but yeah, something like this as an undergrad, just amazing opportunities. So if you get the invite, again, contact Alison or go to the social media
Yep.
for Mineral Area and say, hey, I just want to make sure this is legit.
Yes.
But if you get that invite, find a way to put that $100 together, because it will pay off big
If you don't
time.
have it, come see me, let's talk. And then also I invite people, don't wait for the invite. If you just want to show up to our next meeting, I believe that's what Amber did. Remember a couple months ago? I said, Amber, just come see what it's all about, And so looks like that next meeting, the first Wednesday of the month, so May 7th. 2:00 in the lounge or via Google Meets. But just come, and what do you guys want to eat? I'll go get some food this time.
Don't matter to me, whatever
Drop some recommendations down
Yeah.
on the Facebook
Yeah,
and
on
Instagram,
socials.
guys.
Let us know what you want to eat.
We like snacks. We like food. That's
Yeah.
for sure in PTK.
Yeah, that's our snack queen right there.
Yeah, I am a snack queen.
You're the VP of snacks.
Yeah,
Really
I
is.
am.
We gotta
I'm like-
add that to your title.
I'm like, what do you got in there, Riley? What'd you bring this time?
That could be a project you propose a new position.
Uh-huh.
Vice President of Snacks.
Yep, honorary.
Yeah.
So May 7th, come out if you just want to see what it's all
Everybody
about.
knows where our lounge is, hopefully.
Student lounge. We don't have a super massive campus, so it's findable.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if you can't find it, maybe you're excluded from your invitation is rejected. No, I'm kidding.
It's just right across from the nursing allied health sim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
if
not
you
a
can
sim lab, but it's,
find
what do
the-
y'all call that lab, Carly?
Peds lab.
Peds.
Pediatric lab.
Pediatric lab.
Yeah, it looks like it's a fake like
Hospital,
yeah.
ER kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
take a right when you get to the ER or something. It's right across from our fake ER.
if you get yourself to campus, somebody can help you find it.
Yes.
If you want to check that out. So that's May 7, correct?
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
be updating some pictures on our PTK board. They've been there for a while, and we've been doing lots of fun things the last 2 years, and we're going to update those pictures.
Lots of pictures. We have lots of pictures.
Cool. Anything we didn't cover? Anything you want to mention?
You know, just if you have any questions, email any of us or pop into my office. Again, it's what you make of it. You know, if you're looking for a group to make a difference, you know, past projects have been a recycling campaign, and we pitched to administration. We felt like we needed a student lounge, and that was 2 years ago. And so you know, if you want to make a difference on campus, just ask any of us how to do that.
Well, we appreciate your time. I know earlier you said you're done with classes for the day, so we want to get you out of here so you can enjoy a nice afternoon. Appreciate you coming by. I think what I'd like to do is, and I tell you my brain's fried because I don't even know what month this is. It's the end of April? We do have commencement coming up, but maybe, I don't know if we want to do it before the fall, or you figure out the timing. What would be the best way to promote or talk about what's coming up. But if we want to get together once a semester to kind of talk about traveling and what's been going on, and
Great.
You know, you feel free to just let me know. We can set it up anytime. Thanks for coming by. Super appreciate it. You can say hi to your family or friends if you want. If they've made it, I wish I had. Well, you know what I need? Here's a project for you. I need prizes. I'll have a code word at the end of these episodes. So if somebody actually makes it to the end, we can say, hey, the code word today is orange.
Yeah.
You get it
Okay.
entered in to win snacks, or I don't know. We'll mail you.
Fabulous prize.
We'll mail you a bag of chips.
I will say, I watched the Luna one. It was great.
Oh yeah.
Love Luna.
Yeah.
I've got to get on that one. I watched the instructors from Mac Tech, called the Career in
Yeah.
Tech. I listened because I was on earlier promoting the job fair. Theater. I listened to theater, but I've got to check out Luna. Did Luna actually bark?
She
No,
wasn't here.
Luna wasn't here.
Yeah.
It was just all about Luna.
She
Yeah.
sent her agent.
Her agent.
Her
Emily,
agent. Mhm.
Yeah.
on her behalf.
Nice.
Her liaison.
Nice.
Yeah.
Her PR.
Yeah. So anyway, well, I rambled long enough. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.